When it was released in 2002, the original Mafia appeared to be another Grand Theft Auto 3 clone. However, rock-solid gameplay and brilliant story has made Mafia one of the best open-world games. A lot goes on in open-world gameplay, which more often than not means that individual elements end up half-assed and lacking. Mafia managed to do all the action well, but above all, told a compelling story full of stellar characters. The game was a self-contained masterpiece with a triumphant finale. And now we have a sequel. For some reason. Making a sequel to Mafia would be like making a sequel to Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. Mafia II shouldn't really be called a sequel because the protagonist, Vito Scalera, and the setting, Empire Bay, have no connection to the first game. The only reason why it is called Mafia II is because it takes the same format from the original and builds a new game out of it. Now let's see how it holds up.
They split up. Make sure you follow Clemente, not the other guy.
I know how to drive, all right? Just be ready with the gun.
Don't worry about that.
At first glance, it may seem that the game is about driving from point A to point B in order to complete the missions. But like the first Mafia, Mafia 2's missions are incredibly diverse. While the driving can get monotonous, you will find yourself in enough high-speed car chases to keep things interesting when it's not friggin' glitching. The combat system has changed. The fisticuffs are exclusively one-on-one fights, and ridiculously easy. Dodging is almost automatic, and as long as you keep holding down the dodge button, you're invincible. There is no distinction between going mano a mano with another thug and pounding away at a slab of meat. Likewise, the gunplay, while fun, is easy, and you're often fighting rival gangs with cohorts and taking cover while regenerating your health. If you play Gears of War or Mass Effect, then you've played this game. The action isn't very well paced. You're dropped into the Eastern Front of World War II for the brief opening chapter. Afterwards, you do almost nothing, followed by more nothing, and before you know it, you're halfway through the game scrubbing urinals and handing out cigarettes before any hint of a story starts to develop. Excellent dialogue and voice acting does little to disguise the fact that your character has absolutely no motivation or worthwhile conflict. With no interesting antagonist, the story goes nowhere. It's a generic story about an immigrant striving for a better life and winds up working his way up the criminal ladder, and that's it.
Oh yeah?
The omission of a free play mode is really disappointing, and you are limited to exploring the city in the story mode. Empire Bay is pretty small, but has a lot of detail, and the character models are some of the best I've ever seen. The contemporary soundtrack is a nice atmospheric touch, even going so far as to bring back memorable tunes from the first game. Mafia 2 is solid and fun, but not nearly as good as the first one. Mafia 2 is a sequel that you can live without. It's a nice addition to the family, not necessarily polite, but still. If you've played the first one, play it again. If you haven't, play Mafia 2, because you'll be seeing it through rose-tinted glasses. No, the opposite of that. Tinted glass house? With honeyed words? No, like... making like a tree and going away. Yeah.